Okay.
Okay, so we're good. Oh, do your thing, and then I'll bring in the first two people.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Is the applicant on?
Yes, Steve. I'm promoting you to panelist, and you'll be able to speak. That is Steve A. He's an applicant. He's one of the applicants. And let me and Russ as well. So we have Steve and Russ with application number 1.
Okay. First application tonight is application 20051 of Russell Harris, property located in Wheatley Heights. Need name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stephen Affelt. My address is 41 Leaside Drive, Great River, New York.
And the applicant?
Russell Harris, 15 Norwood Place, Wheatley Heights, New York.
And do you both affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a planning memo dated June 15th, 2020. A survey by Michael Scalise dated February 10th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map, and
There's 14 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Hi, good evening. I guess it's my turn to speak.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Thank you. In this application, the work was started without a permit, and unfortunately, the addition that was being constructed was too large. It's putting us over the allowable lot coverage by 1.1%. The foundation is already installed, and we are requesting a variance to maintain the current size. Hopefully, the small percentage that we're over is going to be allowed by the board, but I leave that to you.
Okay, so we're only over by 157 square feet. And what are you doing there? You're putting an addition on the house? So I see.
Yes,
Never mind.
it's going to be an addition, a living room.
Okay. And it's talking about the shed and the arbor. So is that what's putting you up? The pool is existing?
Pool's existing and permitted.
Okay. All right. Well, one of your problems is too, it's a little bit of an odd shaped piece of property, so it kind of throws you off there as far as that goes. All right. I have no other questions. Any questions from the board? No. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for 1 week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
I think everyone needs to mute themselves unless you're speaking.
I can mute everyone, but you're going to have to unmute yourself if you're ready to speak, all right? Did I do that?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Mickey.
Next application.
All right, next application is Mike Buchello. And I'm going to promote you, Mike, to panelist, and you are now joining. And you should, there you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
I can. Need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Michael Buccello, 10 Marinette Walk, Lyndhurst, New York, 11757, and I have my wife here as well.
Hi.
Name and address.
You guys down on the beach?
No, I have we're in my chair. I have an inmate bed behind me, so I put a little screen on. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay.
We're jealous. We're jealous.
I know. I wish I was on the beach after everything that went on, but you know, it is what it is, I guess.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Absolutely.
Okay. For the record, we We have a planning division memo dated June 15th, 2020. Environmental, no, we don't have environmental. I don't know. Survey by Francis Watson dated January 31st, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map, and
There are 6 photographs. However, Suffolk County Planning has not been received on this.
okay. All right, what would you like to tell us about your application?
Yes, sir. We would like to put up a front porch in our house, for the simple fact that we like to go outside and see our daughter play outside, and also to have some type of aesthetics to the home. We also feel that we have some weather coming into the house where there's snow and rain coming in the front door since there's no covering right now. As you can see on the survey, we're actually bringing the front of the existing front porch back a few feet from what is originally there to the new porch that's going to be erected. So we would just, we try to do this the right way. We went in a few months ago, applied for the permit, submitted plans and everything, and now we're just waiting to hopefully get approved for the permit to put up our porch.
Okay, thank you. We'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right. When you put the portico on the house, do you agree not to enclose the portico?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. We want it open so we can have the fresh air and we can see everybody and watch our daughter play.
All right, as long as that's not enclosed, I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, and keep the record open for 1 week in case there are any comments. And you'll get the decision after our next week's meeting, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Thank you too. All right.
All right. Next application.
Sorry, I was muted. Lucas is in now for application number 3.
Name and address for the record.
Oh, good afternoon, guys. Lucas Sokol, 127 5th Street, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Did you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 15, 2020. A survey by Lawrence Michael Haynes dated April 4th, 2018. A tax map acting as an area map, and
There are 10 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm sorry?
What would you like to tell us about your application?
We want to apply for the public garage with the outside storage
Okay.
to pretty much continue our business.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
Good evening. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
All right. How long have you been at this property? Are you new to this location? Have you been here?
Over 2 years.
You've been here 2 years operating?
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Operating under everything that you're doing now?
Yes.
Okay. How many employees do you have at this location?
It's me and my partner.
Okay. How many? I'm reading something here about planning. How many cars do you store overnight at this location?
On a given any moment, maybe 2 or 3 outside. I also store maybe 1 or 2 inside the building.
Because I'm seeing here that there's an awful lot of cars being parked at this location.
During the day when we're busy, I mean, I tend to get rid of the cars right now because during the day, sometimes there's a lot of folks dropping them off, but we're able to manage by the end of the day to, change the oil, change the tires and just, pretty much give it back to the customer by the end of the day.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I got no other further questions.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? The record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, but we're going to keep the record open for 1 week, and you'll be notified after that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna bring in, there's a couple people for number 4. So I have Dana, who I'm gonna promote to a panelist, and Tom Walsh. And there was another one on the list, but let's see if there's anyone else coming, I'll ask them. Wow, I'm close. Sorry, I'm close to the screen. Tom, Dana, are you there? We need you to unmute and we're ready to start. There you go.
Okay, Tom's here.
Hi, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next application.
Hold on 1 second.
31 of K9 Truck Corp., property located in Deer Park. I need a name and address for the record. Both gentlemen.
Sorry, I'm just having.
Tom Walsh with the firm of Joseph T. Matthews and Associates Architects, 3460-6 Vets Highway, Bohemia. I'm the architect.
I don't know why I can't get a picture here. Sorry.
It's okay. Just, I need a name and address.
1011 Grand Boulevard. I'm Dana Security. 1011 Grand Boulevard, Deer Park, New York, 41729.
I need your last name, sir?
Sorry?
Your last name, sir?
Security. Secreti.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do you both affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 16, 2020. Surveyed by John Robinson dated May 14, 2016. A tax map acting as an area map. And
There are 9 photographs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about your application?
Dana, I'll go. Just for the record, we sent in a kind of an overview yesterday to Lena via email. I'm not entirely sure it made it into the package.
It did. It's number 3 in the correspondence.
Right.
Okay, well, I'll just kind of read it out here. The application before the board this evening is to legalize and maintain K9 Plus, who operate at their facility at 1011 Grand Boulevard in Deer Park. They are a tenant within a multi-tenant building owned by Bertson Realty. Dana can better explain it, but basically they are a canine training facility with a couple accessory uses to that. One being boarding of some of the doors during the training process. A small retail component specializing in training equipment and specialized food. And basically, I'm sure the board's familiar with the area. It's within the industrial park down in Deer Park. The property runs from West Industry Court to East Industry Court on the north side of Grand Boulevard. So if the board has any questions, we'll be happy to answer them as best we can.
Okay.
Mr. Walsh, this is Pamela Green. Did you receive a copy of the fire marshal's report?
No, I did not.
Okay, so the fire marshal had conducted an inspection. There are a number of items that need to be addressed. So you do need to make sure you get a copy of that report. It was from March. I'll tell you what their findings were. They are requiring you to install a 10-year lithium battery, carbon monoxide detectors in the retail store, training, and kennel. They're requiring the illumination of all exit signs and to store spare propane cylinders 6 feet in a secure cage.
outside.
Yeah.
Right, fire 6 feet outside in a secure cage. So that report is in your file, so the zoning office will be able to provide you with that.
Okay, very good.
Okay, turn the hearing over to Mr. Correcchia.
Hello, guys. The gunpowder, I know it's used for training. Is it used for training for the scent of the powder and explosives? Or does it ever have to be detonated for sound or something for the dogs?
So I don't know when my brother's supposed to be on here. I don't know where he is, but it's the scent.
Okay.
It's the scent of the powder. He's the one that knows the ins and outs of that. I'm trying to get a hold of him. I don't know why. I think we thought we were going to be on at 6:30. I think that's what the issue was, but that's
Dana,
yeah.
the package itself, that comes as a, is it a Homeland Security package or I'm trying to think of agency, the travel agency where the whole package, the training package is bought as a whole. It comes in a case with the specific types of items in it for training purposes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is secured in a case just for training purposes. It's not ignited in any way, and it's stored away in a secured area, I would say.
Yes.
And what about the amount of gunpowder? Is it black powder? Is it regular gunpowder? Or
I don't have the answer to that.
I'm going to go through my file here and see if I can find a copy of. I believe I sent the copy to Kate, but I'm hoping I have a copy of it right here.
the main thing we're concerned with is that it's a minimal amount and it's secured and stored properly. So there's no danger to the dogs or to the community or to the area.
All right, hold on. I think I have it right here. It's called a cargo screening canine kit.
Tom?
It's kind of hard to explain it specifically, but it is actually stored in a secure, what they call a magazine, which meets all ATF requirements. Type 2 indoor storage it meets all ATF requirements. It appears to have very small, it's hard to say. I'm not going to put a specific amount on these items here.
Okay.
Just
The
to
other
let
question
the
I
board
have,
know that we did discuss this when it came in.
Right.
And we did talk to the fire marshals, and it's a minimum amount. And the storage of it, Tom did give us all the details on it, and the fire marshal is aware of it and has approved it.
okay, great.
Thanks,
It
Kate.
says the dogs are
You're
boarded for training purposes. How many dogs are boarded at one particular time?
We can have up to 18 spots. On average, it's probably about 7.
Right. And the dogs are trained for what specific purpose? Is it for police departments or is it private security or?
No, most of them are private families that want for obedience training.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions. Oh, just that you read the conditions and everything from the planning board, correct? We're just waiting for fire marshal. Okay, no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Does anyone want to be heard on this application?
It might be wise to just let the applicant know about the condition that planning would like imposed, should it be approved.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the subject site should be cleaned of animal waste on a daily basis. Would you guys agree to that condition?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open, for at least 1 week. You need to, take care of fire marshal. You need to get that fire marshal's report, make those repairs.
Okay.
And get their findings back to the zoning board office, and then we can make a decision.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, we have one more. This is Linzer Products. There's a pretty big team on this one, so I'm going to be letting in Brian Sinzabaugh. He is the lawyer on the project, and it looks like a couple people from Linzer. So I'm going to looks like there is 4 people total right now. So I'm going to invite them in as panelists, and then they will be able to share and speak. What's going on, Brian? Oh, you guys are muted. So just unmute. All 4 of you are muted. So unmute yourselves, or I can ask you to. I don't think I can.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, good evening. My name is Brian Sensabaugh. Address
Hold on
is,
1 second. The next application is application 20062 of Linzer Products Corp., property located in West Babylon. Need your name and address for the record.
good evening. Brian Sensabaugh, 40 Elizabeth Street, Farmingdale, New York, 11735.
Now, is anybody else going to give testimony?
I might. Thomas Pellegrino, Lab Crew Engineering.
Anyone else? I need an address too for
I'm
you.
sorry, 28 Kenneth Avenue, Huntington, New York, 11743.
Okay, and do you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 16, 2020. A survey by Nelson and Pope dated 3/13/18. A set of plans by Christopher Thomas Labatt dated February 2019. And
There are 11 photographs.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening, board. I'll start. Again, this is Brian Sensabaugh. I'm with Tillman, Dallin, Adler, and Hyman. I'm the attorney for the applicant. This application before you today is for Linzer Products Corporation, property at 248 Wyandanch Avenue. It was purchased in 1999, just to start. It used to be the Jamco site, and the applicant is looking to make some improvements to the property. Specifically, it sent a letter out late last week, may have come through early this week, but just as way of background, the applicant is seeking to expand the building size by 35,000 square feet. The purpose of the expansion is to consolidate operations with a portion of their operations that runs out of the Bronx currently on a lease. And their hope is to be able to obtain the requisite permits so that they can perform that consolidation in time. This will increase the number of employees that are at the site. And we are currently working with the IDA in terms of that portion of the application. As part of this application, we have 3 separate variances. The variance is for fence height, to raise fencing height to 8 feet, building area for a variance of 3.3%, and a landscaping variance for front yard landscaping, which totals 10.45%. I'll go through each one of these individually, and if you have any questions, obviously feel free to let me know. First off is fencing. We had met with the Belmont Lake Civic Association in December and had discussions with them in terms of how we can improve the site to better the quality of life for the people living in the A1 district south of this parcel. One of the issues that was raised was both the view of the property as well as noise, and in a way to mitigate that, we were looking at to increase our fence height and replace the existing fence with an 8-foot fence that has slats. In doing so, it'll block the view of the property. It also replaces some areas that do need to be replaced currently, given their condition. This fencing would run along the entire southern boundary of the southern parcel, which is tax lot 73.1. And would continue along, I believe, the eastern side of the parcel as well. Secondly is a building area variance. Currently, the building is 161,736 square feet. This is the original building that was obtained in 1999. The applicant is looking to increase the building size by 35,000 square feet with an addition to the east side of the building. The addition would be used for warehouse and office space. So the total proposed lot area would be 48.3% or 196,736 square feet. The requirement is 45%, 183,120. Based on my review of the area, the average building area between Mount Avenue and Belmont Avenue, based upon the assessment records and GIS, shows that it's in excess of 41.3% for those in the same zoning district. And therefore, I believe that this is the same character as the neighborhood. I'd like to also point out that there are areas, two parcels in particular, and one that's directly next to the northern parcel of this site, which does exceed the building area percentage that is being requested here, the applicant. Lastly is landscaping. This site has quite a bit of frontage, so the frontage is in excess of any other frontage on this area between Mount Ave and Belmont Ave by 1,300 square feet, or 1,300 feet, I apologize, linear. And as a result, the required front yard landscaping is 28,835.82 square feet. We're proposing 25,821.6 square feet. That's a variance of 10.45%. And we also have parking that we will not be utilizing currently. We have, based on the GIS again, it appears that it's within the character of the neighborhood, as a lot of these parcels simply do not have the front yard landscaping and require an average variance of somewhere around 40% based on 5 years of GIS. So I believe that the variance is within the character of the neighborhood. It's not going to diminish the welfare or the values of the neighboring parcels. And I think, in fact, the improvements, all encompassing fencing, building area, and landscaping, would improve the area. I'd like to open up for any questions.
Okay. Can you just, before I turn it over to Mr. Weinschenk, just explain what is the business? What's done here?
So Windsor Products Corp is an international manufacturer of paint products and accessories. So they have a number of different brands that are pretty well-known brands. What's specifically done at this site is specific to certain paint tools, mainly rollers that you'll see. So paint rollers and other accessories associated with that. And I know Tony is on, as well as Len Zicklin, and they might be able to provide additional information if you'd like some more information specifically as to what's done, but we're not creating anything there. It's mostly assembly and manufacturing that's going on from this site. But if you'd like, I would invite Len and Tony to chime in and provide additional information if you'd like.
No, that's okay for me. So I'm going to turn the hearing over to Mr. Weinschenk and see what questions he would have.
You're muted, Tom.
Tom, you're muted. So I messed that up. I think I did. There we go.
There we go. Okay. The variances seem kind of minor to me, given the size of the property. My only question would be regarding the CNRs that are proposed by the planning department. Were those also imposed by the planning board? Did you have a hearing before the planning board?
Yes. So we did have a hearing at the planning board, and there was a tentative approval that was on, I believe, June 1st. So the covenants and restrictions that you see are the same covenants and restrictions that the board imposed.
Okay.
We've addressed some of the issues that are in there, and I think those are issues that were raised previously as well. Namely, the the use of outside noise in terms of loudspeakers, those have been eliminated. We're not using walkie-talkies on the site, things of that nature, but these have been reviewed by the client and they're approved.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Yes, how many employees do you think you'll be bringing to this location? Would it be employment for local employment also?
There'll be opportunity for local employment. I believe that the increase that we're looking at, and I have to go back to give you the, I apologize, I have to go back to the IDA application to give
The
you.
letter said 60.
Yeah, I believe it's between 50 and 60.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for 1 week. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to bump you back down to attendees, all right?
Thank you.
Good to see you, Brian. Be good.
Good to see you, Brian.
All right, we're still rocking and rolling, but we are done with our hearings for the night.
Okay. Pamela,
I am.
You might be muted still.
Can we unmute?
Now you're on.
That last application, make sure we subject that to CNRs. They are different from the planning board.
Yes. I believe environmental had conditions on that as well.
Yeah, I saw your note. I just couldn't get to type. The conditions I took were.
I just muted everyone. There's a lot of feedback. Something's going on. Is someone on a phone and the computer at the same time? Sorry, I just muted everybody. Full control.
You like that, huh?
I do. Not normally my style, but we have Pam and I'm gonna put Joe back on. Just make sure if you're on a phone or something, it's like far enough away.
Yeah, the conditions, I thought I took those straight off the planning board, but if they are different, there's no harm in attaching them again. The review for the planning board was pretty much covered everything. We don't even have to do a neg deck because they did a coordinated review. So if you want to attach those conditions, that's fine.
Thank you, Joe. Hey, any other comments on Lindsay? No. Moving on to your first request for an extension. It's item 19-192. The property is located in Deer Park.
John?
Yep. Make a motion, we give them an extension of time. 1 month on that, or 2 weeks, or
No, it's usually 6 months. This is the first extension.
6 months on it?
Yeah.
Make a motion, we give it an extension of time for application 19192 for a period of 6 months.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Second request for an extension of time is application 19-246. This is Rolling Frito-Lay Sales. The property is located in Wyandanch. This is the first request for an extension.
I'll make a motion to approve extension of time on 19-246 for a period of 6 months.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're going to go through the rest of them rather quickly as many of them are remaining reserved. Moving on to page 8 of the agenda, Santos Calderon is adjourned until June 25th, allowing them to submit revised plans. Moving on to page 9 of the agenda, P&P Motors remains reserved. VL10 remains reserved. Moving on to page 10 of the agenda, American Racing Headers and Exhaust remains reserved. They're still planning fire marshal issues. Basilico Materials remains reserved pending decision by the planning board. Moving on to page 11 of the agenda, J&J Wanjari, doing business as Christie's Smoke Shop, remains reserved. I am awaiting a conversation with their counsel. Moving on to page 12, G&J Best Way to Auto Repair remains reserved. They also have fire marshal issues outstanding. Moving on to page 13, Kulkunis. We are waiting revised plans. I would defer to planning, but I don't believe anything has been received yet.
I have nothing on that yet.
Okay, moving on to the bottom of page 13. This was heard last week. It is Belosi Family Trust. This property is located in Deer Park. There were no objections from planning. If the board is satisfied, there has been no communication or questions, the board could move.
I make a motion, we approve application 20-044.
Second.
With the conditions?
There,
Conditions.
I don't believe there
There
were
no
conditions. I don't believe there were any.
No.
If shed to be replaced in proper location.
Oh, okay.
What connection with the existing stairs?
Am I on the
Stairs
wrong?
to be rebuilt?
No, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one, guys.
We're on Belosi Family Trust, no conditions. It's a motion by John, seconded by Nick, I believe.
All in favor?
Steve.
Aye.
Oh, Steve, sorry.
Second.
Okay, moving on to page 14, Nicola Steele. This has had no communication. This was the the woman who was looking to have the diminished north side yard for the existing shed. This planning had recommended a condition that if the shed is replaced, it be rebuilt in a conforming location. The property is located in West Babylon.
Tom?
I think Tom's muted.
Tom, you might be muted on, I think you got to unmute yourself.
Tommy.
Oh, there he goes. You're good, Tom. Oh, nope, that was John.
Mute.
We're
Okay.
good.
There you are.
I'll make a motion to approve application 20-48 with the condition to be noted on the front of the CO that if the shed needs to be replaced, it will be placed in a conforming location.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to the bottom of page 14, Michael Krasinski. This property is located in West Babylon. Planning did not have any objections. Mr. Weinschenk had asked the applicant if they were willing to agree to a condition that the front porch not be enclosed.
And the applicant didn't have any objection to that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve 20-063 with the condition that the front porch not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to page 15, Capo Bianco Properties. This property is located in Lindenhurst. It is still pending Suffolk County planning, so that will remain reserved. There is an email in your correspondence, however, from an adjacent neighbor with a number of concerns. So if you would please review those. It's number 2 in your correspondence. Moving on to the bottom of page 15, the application is from Christopher Gagstetter. The property is located in East Farmingdale. Planning did not have any objections.
I will make a motion to approve application 20-042.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to page 16, 27 Collision also will remain reserved. Suffolk County Planning has not been received on that either. Moving on to the final page of your agenda, your correspondence included a letter from Brian Sinsaba outlining the variances that were requested with Linzer Products, the email from the resident concerned about the Capo Bianco Properties application, a letter from Thomas Walsh outlining the services provided at the K-9 facility, which he reviewed with you. And for your reading pleasure, we have the minutes from June 4th and June 11th for your review for next week. And that concludes tonight's meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Steve Fellman, I see you in there. Hearing's over. Stopping the recording.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
Hey,
everybody.
good night.
We'd say, hey, listen, gentlemen, happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day,
Thank
Dash.
you.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, men.
Be good.
Be
Good night.
good.